Welcome back to Straight Shooting Sports Talk, and I'm your host, Dujane Bland. Well, our stories are going to be in the NFL this week, and specifically in the NFC East. There's huge talk. Redskins win, NFC East champions, and the talk starts brewing. Now we're lobbying for a name change. They would like to see the Redskins drop that name and adopt a new name and potentially a new logo. Well, me personally, I can see how the name Redskin could be offensive. There's a lot of negative history behind that name. And we live in a politically correct society. So I could see how there would be a push to try to change something that has been there for a long time that brings up negative connotation. My only problem is that I see tons of individuals who are reporters, people who are not very fond of Daniel Snyder, who are lobbying in front of these individuals, and yet we, the public, have not seen this so-called group of people that want to see this name changed. Now, we do live in America. We have free speech. And as we all know, when we have a problem, there's people that will protest. And yes, protest in front of buildings, in front of stores, anywhere they can so that they can be heard. And yet, we have not heard from these individuals if they are so angry about the name. Now, I know they've put some individuals of Native American descent on TV in the local area, but that is not enough for me to make a change. When you say you have a group of people, to me, it sounds like a lawyer who found like 50 folks to rally it up so he can make some kind of money off of political correctness. Now, when I look at a lot of these blogs on profootball.com, comment on some of the statements that Mr. Mike Wise from the Washington Post has made, I see a lot of Native Americans who relish and they hold the name Redskin on high. Now, Mr. Mike Wise suggested that we change the name to the Warriors. Well, Redskins were warriors. If you read some of the comments from the Native Americans that are proud of this name, they even state that the Redskins were warriors. So how is that different? Now, I've seen articles that have said that Indians' names shouldn't be used and have been changed throughout different sports, high school, college, etc. But I live here in a county that has several teams that have Indian names and have Indian logos. I'm just asking that we hear from the individuals that want to see this change. Because really, it's not about the people who are lobbying out in front of them. Half of them aren't even Native American. And it's not about us, the fans. It's between the Native Americans, these individuals, and Daniel Snyder and the organization. Now, I understand it takes a representative to get to some of these people in the organization. But let those two handle it and let us hear from them. I'm tired of hearing from everyone else. We want to hear from them because as a fan and as fans, we look around other Redskin fans. These names carry history. This name is carried on high by a lot of folks, and no one is mocking Native Americans at all when it comes to the Washington Redskins. It's a sports team. So let us handle this in a wise fashion. And if we're going to do it, let's do it throughout the year, not when the team shows up and actually has a winning season. So let's hear from those people, please. Well, Michael Vick gets a new contract. It's worth $10 million, and don't worry, Eagles fans. I'm sure there's a lot of incentives involved in this contract. The guy's definitely got to stay healthy, got to be able to play every game. and he's going to have to limit the turnovers that he made last year in this upcoming year. But I think Chip Kelly makes a very good decision in doing so. He doesn't have to really rush into anything. He has a good quarterback in Nick Foles back there backing him up. Then if he decides, he can go and draft a quarterback as a Dennis Dixon or what have you to put as a third quarterback, and he could make his decision later, depending upon how the contract is structured, if they could eventually release Vick later in training camp or before the seasons begin. But I think this is a great deal. 1 year, you see what the guy got, and I think Vick, given a great offensive line, or something better than what he had last year, is going to make plays for you. He's shown that the previous year when things were a lot better than they were last year. He made some very good plays with his feet. He was very smart with the football and really, really, really elevated that Eagles offense. But I think this is a great move for Chip Kelly in moving forward and buys him a little bit of time to find that quarterback that is going to be the quarterback of the future for the Philadelphia Eagles. Because we know right now that market for quarterback is very, very, very slim. And there's really none that fit this system that Chip Kelly wants to run. So, hey, this is going to be a good addition, and we'll see how it works out as the OTAs and training camp come up in the next upcoming months. Well, again, this is another show for us. We appreciate you tuning in. Again, if you have any dislikes or likes about the show, leave your comments. If you have a topic that you'd like to see discussed on the show, or you just have a question about your team or something in sports, shoot us an email at straightshootingst@gmail.com. And as we tell you to do at the end of every show, please subscribe. It's a great show. Well, you've been listening to Straight Shooting Sports Talk.